Hi, so I'm about to start my 20-minute daily back exercise routine designed to try and help to prevent or hopefully fix some issues with lower backs. I've had some success with my lower back L5S1 recovery, and in a previous video I've mentioned the routine that I do, so here it is. Without too much further ado, I usually do this at the gym. I'm doing it at home, so it's going to allow me to add some commentary. So let's get going. Okay, so I start off just generally loosening up through the hips with some circles, and make sure that you're putting your back into this. It's not just coming from the glutes. You can feel it at your back. Just 10 each way. Getting a good bend in the back there. And an easy back stretch if you can. Over to one side. Look over to one side. Don't worry if you can't do this. Just go as far as you can. And try and push in at the back here. And look backwards. These exercises are a mixture of foundation training and Mckenzie exercises, plus some others that I've put in that because I think they help. So I'm going to start off with what is basically a 12-minute foundation training, which you'll be able to find elsewhere on the internet. I'll make some posts towards that. Just start with the founder pose, which is arms back, bottom back, and weight on your heels. Really, what we're trying to do here is just do exercises for the posterior chain, and we spend a lot of time exercising the front of our bodies. And this is all about engaging the back of our bodies to try and improve our general posture and help the balance of front to back. Hopefully in doing so will help you with your back problems. Now lift up and thumbs down. Arms behind, bending at the hips only, keeping a straight back to a count of 10, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, engaging that back, keeping that nice and straight, hips and buttocks pushed back as far as you can, elbows together, and just bend forwards. No, don't put any strain on your lower back here. Should just be feeling it in the back of your thighs, just above the knees. Any discomfort in the back, just stop. When I started doing these exercises, I swapped these for a different exercise because they were causing some discomfort, but it has improved. Okay, back up. Switching into this position, right leg forward, left leg back, arms up and behind over your head. Lean to the right hand side, stretching through the left hip flexor. Should feel that in the bottom of the back, and then the left hip flexor. Hold that as long as you can, and see if you can add in some calf raises at the back, keeping everything else straight, so all of the movement is coming through the calf. You should feel a stretch through the hip. See if you can do 15 of those. Return to the centre. I like to go back into a kind of founder position here. Again, you're pushing the shoulder blades back and together, and arms down. And then you're bending forward, keeping as straight as you can at the back. All the pressure here, all the power going through the hip. You should feel it in your heel, under your right heel. Forward and back, nice and slow, for a count of 10. keep those arms back. You should feel a nice pull in the scapular area at the top of the back. And finish that. Reach forward as far as you can, keeping that straight spine, and then rotate round to the right. Everything else straight. And I finish it with a nice deep squat through the hips, hip flexor stretch. For me, the lower back pain has always been linked to hip flexor pain, so I spend a lot of time working through stretching this area. Okay, and up again. And on the left hand side, same thing. Arms up and above your head. And slowly to the left. Feel the stretch through the hip flexor. And up on the toes and down. Count to 15. Return to centre. Arms behind your body. Bend right here at the hip. Forward for 10. 1, 2, 1. Arms forward. Reach forward. Top of your back. Keep your spine straight. Turn to the left. 1, 2. Should feel that stretch. Right hip flexor. A nice deep lunge through the hip. As I said, best place to follow for this exercise routine is really foundation training. There's a 12-minute video which I'll post a link to. If you follow that a few times, you can come back to my video if you want to do the full 20-minute lower back workout once you've got those positions nailed. Stand up. This time we go wider with the legs. Butt back, weight over the heels. Feel the pressure through the back. Arms behind you in the founder position, pushing the shoulder blades together. Pull the arms forward and up, above your head. See if you can turn the thumb down and hold this position for 15 seconds. Breathe through it. Arms back, founder position. I prefer this, in the videos you'll see them kind of holding the hips, but I prefer to go right, stick in the founder position. It seems to be easier on the lower back. 2, 3. Notice my legs aren't moving, it's just, nor is my back. It's just the bend is coming from the hips. Buttocks. Hang forward, elbows down. Again, if this is hurting the lower back, don't do it. For me, it's a good release. It kind of goes with the Mckenzie exercises, which at first are teaching you to extend your back one way, and then later going forward. We'll come to that in a moment. Right, left hand down straight in front of you, keep the same position. The right arm up slowly and rotate round. You should feel a nice gentle stretch in the lower back. Notice I'm turning my torso. The other side. With me, I can feel this a little bit more on this side. It's where my lower back injury was. L5S1 on the left side. I tend to take it a little bit easier on this side. Slowly but surely it's been improving. Turn to this position, founder position. Hands and arms together, elbows together, push up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, arms back behind. I like to give a little stretch out at that point, pretty heavy. Back into the founder position, arms go through and up, and back round. Hands together, elbows together, up for another count of 10. Keep those elbows together. 1, 2, 3. Arms back behind you. Stand right up. Quick stretch again through the hip flexors, up and to the right. Other side. Oh. Okay, and then shake that off. That's pretty much the end of the foundation exercises. So how long's that? That's taken me 12 minutes odd. So I must have done something about right. Okay, moving on. The next set of exercises is all about Mckenzie. If you have had lower back pain, you've probably come across Mckenzie exercises. I'll move that camera down slightly because I'm going to be doing some floor stuff here. Okay. I do credit the Mckenzie exercises with having been very helpful. Some of the modifications that I've made I think have been helpful as well. First is just the usual cat-cow. So hopefully you'll see I've got a good range of motion coming through the back. I do loads of these. These are just a great one to shake out after you've been doing any back exercises. Make sure you get that full extension through the full range of motion, nice and slow. Okay, so into the Mckenzies themselves. This is the, hopefully you can still see me, a cobra. I call it cobra position, I'm not sure quite what he calls it. But really you're just lifting up slowly now. Anyone with lower back pain will know their limits. If it's starting to hurt, then stop. The more I've done of these, the less pain I've had. You're trying to push your pelvis right into the floor here. So if your pelvis is lifting off the ground, you're probably not doing it right. You should be curling up from the pelvis and really trying to get that sort of lordosis position in the lower back. Lifting up and pushing down. I like to go through about 15 of these, steadily doing more and more. I like to move the hand positions around so you can feel different areas of your mid-back getting a workout. And with a slight modification, I'll twist round to the left and right, in this case, sorry, round to the left. And sometimes I can feel a bit of a pinch there in the lower spine. We'll go easy. Okay, next ones, I'm calling these first it's just a back lift, and then we'll go to what I call a Superman. So really keep these as tight as you can, try and keep your feet and heels together, maybe Put your toes on the floor, and then we're just going to lift. 2, 3. Try and do 15 of these. Then into the Superman, so we're alternating the hands that go forward and back with the same move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Always gets me, that one. It's the end of a week. I've been doing these every day this week. I think I'm a little tired from doing them, but repetition is the key, I think, here. I then like to loosen out with some cat-cow stretches. And forget this position, the child position, child pose, I think this is. And what I like to do here is kind of crawl my fingers over, so I'm trying to get the stretch right through here. Keep my chest down to my knee. Just trying to stretch right through this bit here. I don't know what I'll call this position, but I just do it because it feels good. It's a good release. And the same over the other side. Okay. Let's shake that off a little bit. Okay. Straight into side plank. Like a side plank push-up is what we're aiming for here. So we get into the side plank position. This is a little difficult. So you should see I'm hopefully holding a half decent side plank position. Hand on the side of the head, and then I'm going to dip the hips down towards the mat 15 times, holding everything else good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And swap over. And we've done that, just go straight forward into the standard plank if you can. What I like to do with the standard plank is kind of move it into an 8-point plank. Fingers down, elbows down. Move your body backwards. So you can see my elbows are coming up level with my chin. You can put your knees down, hold that position. So my knees down, toes down, elbows down, but they're level with my sort of around my eye socket. Just hold that one until you can. Till you can't anymore. A few more of the cobras. Back up. Cat-cow I just used to release. Okay. So I also like to work on the hips, and something I do, this is just what we call a hip hitch, and this is sort of thanks to James Dunne at the Kinetic Revolution. So again, working the hip and core to try and keep the pelvis in balance. So left leg dropped, left leg as straight as you can, drop this side and literally bring it up. 2, 3, try and do 30, 4, keep that left leg straight. It's not just, it's also doing the lower back, as you can see, and the core. It can get quite tiring quite quickly, this one. switch to the other side. Don't seem to have as much range of motion through this side. I'm trying to work through the hip area here now, rather than just the lower back. I think it's all important to do together. Okay. So next we're going to go into some glute bridges. I like to get a good set of glute bridges done as well. So I like to curl the shoulders under. Actually put my fingers inside my heels and lift through. Sometimes it's good to do this with a weight. If you're at the gym, you could put a weight through here. If not, just work it through 30 odd. Full extension if you can. Then I like to add in a foot raise if you can do that. This can be hard with the lower back, so be very careful, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then just try and hold the bridge position. I've actually gone a bit beyond this. I don't recommend this to other people, but it is part of my routine. If you can do it, maybe you're someone who does yoga, or I seem to be able to do this crab position. I like to do this at this point in the routine. It's a nice release for the back. Obviously, please don't try this if it hurts in any way, if you can't do it. Just stick with the glute bridge. From there, get a hip flexor stretch. So I have this foot come across here. Sorry, this is a piriformis stretch. As you can see, I use the step because I don't have the flexibility that some people do with the pigeon stretch. But this is giving a great stretch on the right, through the right buttock, the piriformis. Get your head as close as you can to your foot. And swap sides. I like to try and hold this one for like 30 seconds. Again, I don't have as much flexibility on the left side here. I'm just going to finish off with one last move, which is really aimed at working on that core strength. This is the arabesque, and then after this we'll finish. The arabesque is also I think known as the diver. You're basically trying to move your hands forward and your leg back in a straight line. This is going to work the hip and glute and the lower back. Please be very careful with this exercise. It's a good one. 1, 2. Keeping the balance is part of the exercise here. Good for core strength. If you're having problems through your back, sometimes if you bend your knee a little more, it might give you a bit more flexibility. I get a sciatic pain, or used to, down the left side doing these. So please don't push yourself. If it hurts, stop. Definitely with sciatic pain, does you no good to push through the pain. Okay, then just roll it out in the hips. And that's pretty much it for the basic routine. Some days I do a little more, which I'll do in another video. But for today, well done if you followed along, and hope